Welcome to the Gauntlet of Gaming, where these hands are rated E for everyone. I'm Malik.
I'm John.
Francis.
Santiago.
And today we have a very mellowed out podcast, I guess, to say. We will be talking about the new generations of console gaming. So that means we'll be talking about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Now, before we get into that, guys, we finally have gameplay on our channel.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So, as you'll notice, you look at the Gauntlet of Gaming channel, you'll see some gameplay that's popping up about every other day. Right now, we have our Star Wars Battlefront 2 gameplay, so GG plays Star Wars Battlefront 2, where John and I try to bring honor to the First Order. Spoiler alert, we don't do a good job.
What are you talking about?
Spoiler
I do an
alert.
amazing job.
I don't do a good
I do
job.
an amazing job.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
I love Battlefront so much.
Yeah, you definitely carry me.
Mhm.
So there may be some more of that popping up soon. We have some playthroughs of Jedi Fallen Order that we're going to be putting up soon.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
wait to see you guys
I'm in
play
those.
that.
So there's going to be a lot of death and a lot of falling.
Eh,
I am not a
it's all part of the
platformer.
game. You gotta do a complete.
Lots of bad at being parkour.
Yeah, but you know what?
Oh, the running on wall stuff. Oh.
Just the overall just falling off
Yeah,
cliffs.
no, 100% of the game.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for the gameplay. There's going to be plenty of more to come in the future. It's 2020. This is our first podcast of 2020, so we made it into the new year.
My
We
vision
did
got
it.
better this year too.
Is it
2020? Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Yes, silly.
I'm
Just
still-
call me.
Yes, silly.
I'm still wearing glasses.
It's okay.
And you know what? It still be like that sometimes.
You must be stuck in that 2019.
I am.
Oh, good lord.
I'm in the 2010.
And of course, our social medias, you've heard it before. For those of you who are new, you can find us on Facebook at The Gauntlet of Gaming. You can also find us on Instagram by the same name. Nothing changed. On Twitter, on the other hand, you can find us at _Gauntlet with a 4 instead of an A. We don't really use Twitter, but if you want to send us some images or things like that, Twitter is the best place because we don't have to worry about compression and stuff like that. So, with that being said, I wanted to start off differently than how we normally do our podcast. Instead of ending with the question of the day, I wanted to start with the question of the day. So for those of you who are watching or listening, wherever you are, the question of the day for you, what do you want from the next generation of console gaming? You know, there's a lot that's coming up. Some people are talking about games that will be coming out. Some people are talking about how it looks, how it runs. I think for a lot of people, the important point is the price point. So this is the question to you, the audience. Let us know in the comment section down below if you're watching on YouTube. What are you looking forward to with this next generation of consoles? So, with that being said, let's jump into the topic. So we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. We're not going to be talking about anything Nintendo related, mostly because of the fact that the Switch seems to be a well-running machine right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to be really...
It's pretty clean.
Yeah.
It's pretty clean.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be switched out anytime soon. And if anything, we predict that there's going to be like a Pro, a Switch Pro
Yeah, they're just
happening.
gonna drop a Pro.
Yeah.
Either the end of this new year or the end of next year.
Yeah, so nothing super new, big that needs to be talked about. And as far as games libraries go, it's not worth a discussion. So we're just going to preface that. Another thing that we'd like to preface is that we are not tech gurus. We're not going to be talking about the specs of the new consoles. Mostly because we don't even have confirmed specs for the PlayStation 5 right now.
So it's not worth comparing.
Exactly. And I don't really like going off of the rumors of other people because some people are saying that the specs are low. Some are saying the specs are high. I don't care. I don't think I've ever bought a console because of its specs.
Nope.
So we're going to talk about what's actually important. And the first thing that's important before we even talk about, the details of these consoles is which one would you choose? If you had to choose between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, you had to get one and not the other, which one would you choose? And I want to start with Santi.
For me, it's kind of easy. I'm going to go with the PS5, mainly because my dad's a diehard Microsoft fan. He beta tested Xbox Live, so he's clearly going to get the new Xbox. So, and I still live with him, so it just makes sense. He's going to get the Xbox, I'm going to get the PS5. We have both consoles.
Makes sense. Francis.
Probably still PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yep.
Sticking with the same train.
Yep. That's where most of the games I like. And the games I do like on Xbox, there's just not enough to make me want to get it.
Okay. What about you, John?
If I had to choose between two consoles, I would probably just jump on the lake because PC.
Oh, Lord.
But I've been a Sony fan. I don't think I've personally owned any Microsoft console besides the original Xbox.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago, and I only had Halo and Brute Force for that game, for that console, which were both really good games. But I think I'd still have to go PS5 just because I know the controller well.
Yeah.
If I were to get put into a game with a PlayStation controller, I know exactly what button is to jump, and that's X. But with the new things that are coming towards the controllers nowadays, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'd have, because from what it sounded like for the PlayStation, they're throwing a screen on the controller.
Well, we'll talk about that.
And I don't know about that.
Yeah,
because that takes me away from my TV. And I like my big TV.
Well, I find it interesting because for me, I would also have to say the PlayStation 5. It's kind of tough because I recently started getting into Xbox gaming.
Yeah.
I did not grow up with Xbox. I also grew up mostly with Sony, with PlayStation products. And so this is a very interesting time for me where now I have to even ask myself the question of if I'm getting a PlayStation or an Xbox. But for me, I have the PSP, I have the PS Vita, I have the 2, the 3, and the 4, and potentially might even be getting a PS4 Pro. So Sony has been a major part of my life. My earliest gaming memories were on a PlayStation 1 and PS2. So it just makes sense for me to keep the legacy train going and getting that PlayStation 5. So I find that interesting how all four of us, even though we come from diverse gaming backgrounds, we all kind of agreed and settled that we would be getting the PS5.
Well, and this is going without any, word on what the PS5 is going to be about.
Exactly.
And, it could look ugly and then we can all change our mind.
True, yeah.
And we were like, well, we don't want that because it's either bulky or, it just doesn't look right or the graphics isn't as much as we want it to be.
Yeah.
But that's going on to specs.
Exactly. So it's kind of just, this is our first, our first thoughts, initially. And a lot of people are like, well, isn't it too early to be talking about new consoles and stuff like that? Yes, but for what we're going to be talking about, I don't think it's too early, mostly because a lot of what we're talking about with the Xbox Series X and the PS5 is how does it continue a legacy and not how does it live up as a brand new piece of tech. So speaking of games, because it's the reason why we use consoles anyways.
100% our name.
It's a big part of our name. Let's go into games library. So we figured out that pretty much all of us would want to get a PS5 if we decided to even get one. But when it comes to games library, and I may have to do a little bit of devil's advocate just because I kind of, I guess, minimize the questions to talk about the console you wanted to get.
Oh, I will talk about the Xbox.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
I will talk about
3 out of the 4 of us could. So for games library, what games do you hope to have? It's, we said on your desired system, but let's just open it up. On the Xbox Series X and on the PS5, let's start with the PS5 since it's the one we all kind of collectively agreed that we would want to get. What is the game or 2 games, I would say, that you really need to see on this system? And let's start with John.
I'm going to say this with any system. I want to see a Star Wars Republic Commando. But I also would love to see another Knights of the Old Republic game. If they could bust it out on a new system with Dragon Age mechanics or something like that for PS5, that would be awesome. But I think, those are my 2. I'd say Republic Commando or Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars for sure. I love Star Wars.
Just something Star Wars.
I want something Star Wars. Give me something good to eat when it comes to Star Wars. I want to eat it up. Unlike, when EA busted out, microtransactions for Battlefront. I lost it all because I was just like, I don't have money for that.
Exactly.
So, that'd be my 2 choices. Just anything Star Wars related for the PS5. But it's going to be hard for that because I see more Xbox content for Xbox Series X busting out more Star Wars related items because Microsoft is big into the Star Wars stuff. Jedi Fallen Order was big on Xbox One when it was coming out and stuff like that because that's where it was mostly promoted. And so that's where I see it going Star Wars wise. It's going all straight to the Series X.
But you would want to see it on the PS5.
But I'd want to see it on PlayStation just because I know the controllers.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, I want to be comfortable playing the game I want to play. So that's why I either play PC or PlayStation because I'm comfortable with where everything is.
Got you.
So
perfect.
What about Francis?
Okay, so if only no one cared and games were on all platforms, I would like Halo or Gears of War on this.
That's an if.
That's
I
a
know.
big
That's an if.
That's a
but-
never.
Yeah.
I know, but it's also vice versa. I wouldn't mind the PlayStation exclusives on Xbox.
Yeah.
So if it were like that, I wouldn't mind switching between Xbox or PlayStation. Maybe generation wise, like if I had a PS3, I'll go Xbox One,
Mhm.
and then so on and so forth. I'll switch over because I'm not about that console war stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's strange that you bring up that.
why?
Because there hasn't been much war. Like,
Yeah,
as of late.
I know, but I mean, before
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
sticking to history of consoles.
Got you.
Mhm.
Hands everyone. But it's not a perfect world, and I think in reality, I'd like to have a good story game
Mm-hmm.
that makes me forget I'm playing a game, or forget our problems in life.
Yeah.
Because I think that's basically what's been missing for me for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been playing Monster Hunter almost
I don't know how
nonstop.
story-based Monster Hunter is, though.
It's got story.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does, but
it's
it's not like that good. I
You
just-
need juice, is what you need.
Yeah, that's what I
okay.
But Last of Us 2 will probably be that.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna make any assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
So
wait.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. PS5, Santi.
So I grew up with Microsoft and the Xbox. So my first Sony console was the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
So for PS5, I like to either see a remaster or just new entries for Ratchet and Clank or either
Ooh,
Jack and
good
Daxter.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
just thinking about that game this morning.
Really good choice.
So Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter, I think that'd be really cool to see on the PS5.
Jack
Got
and
you.
Daxter, oh my gosh, my
Man,
childhood.
If they were to announce like a new Jack and Daxter game
I would-
alongside the PS5,
I would slide all my money to it.
that's
I would
crazy.
slide all my money to that game.
Now for me, it's like thinking about the PS5. A lot of what I've been thinking about with the PS5 is not so much the new stuff that they would bring as it is the classic stuff that they would bring over.
Oh, okay.
Mostly because for me, I still cling on to what they were saying about the PS5 being the console to replace the PS4 and the PS3 in previous generations. And so for me, it's like, okay, well, I mean, as a gimme, what games would I like to see in the library? I would like to see basically just past PlayStation games. But if I'm thinking about exclusivity, for me personally, it's like when I'm thinking of PlayStation, Xbox, I'm not really thinking about, well, if the game's on every console, then I would want to just have this game. I'm thinking if it's an exclusive to PlayStation, what would I want to see? I think, and I feel like this is a sentiment a lot of people feel, but for me personally, what would get me hyped for a PlayStation 5 as a launch title if they announced a new Infamous.
Yeah.
If
Maybe.
they announced that Infamous was coming back as a launch title for the PS5. Now, it's hard to say that because when PS4 was coming out, they had Infamous Second Son, and I was just like, I was very hurt by Second
I
Son.
wasn't a fan of Second Son.
Yeah, because I
I
was
enjoyed it.
The music was great. Though.
Well,
oh my god.
a fan in the sense that we don't have Cole anymore.
Yeah.
It's not the
Okay.
story of Cole McGrath. And the thing for me is, it's like, with whatever Infamous they would do on a PS5, I'm okay with it not being Cole McGrath. I think Second Son was the game we needed to allow that to be the case, though. Because before I was like, it's not Cole McGrath. I don't want to play Second Son. And unfortunately, to this day, I still haven't played Second Son yet. I really want to, but I haven't had a chance to. But because of Second Son happening and reminding me that it's not Cole that made Infamous, it's the gameplay, it's the mechanics, it's hilariously enough the Renegade and Paragon of Mass Effect being in the game.
You love that evil good choice
I
thing.
really do.
I noticed that you just like those systems.
Yeah,
Like-
even though I always choose evil, the fact that there's a game that allows you
options.
to option between, kind of like even with old Star Wars games where it's like you could be light or dark side, having a game like that. And I think Infamous is the game that is really known to the mainstream for having a choice like that. I think doing something like that with PlayStation 5 would really get me hyped, because the fact that it's like now you get an opportunity to like it'll look really good.
Yeah.
Like we know it would look really good, at least hopefully it would look really good.
Crossing our fingers,
Yeah.
knocking on wood.
But it's just power-wise, because of the power of these new consoles, it would just allow you to do so much more with these characters. So for me, of all the games that I would, because I mean, a lot of the games that I would like to see, I have a feeling I'm already going to get on the PS4. Like Ghost of Tsushima, we already know we're getting it on PS4. So since I know we're getting on PS4, I'm not hyped and waiting for it to be on PS5. But an Infamous game, we haven't heard anything about that anytime soon. So fingers crossed, if we ever get it, all I need to see is the PS5 announcement, and at the end of the PS5 announcement, just a crack of lightning splits through the middle of the screen. I'm like, hype everywhere.
Now, what about a PlayStation All-Stars release with the PS5?
So
They have a lot more content.
PlayStation All-Stars 2 being released, or even if they just
Re-upped it, yeah.
basically not even re-update, but like remake, and just have it be a whole fresh new slate of PlayStation All-Stars would be cool. Would it get me hyped for a PS5? No.
They shouldn't announce it for PS5.
It shouldn't be a launch title. Would I be okay with it being a launch title? Yes. I think it would be, because the thing is, if the PS5
is their fans that way,
it
everybody's
does.
a fan of everything.
Exactly.
Make, yeah.
But it also feels like you're punishing PS4 users then, because it's like, hey, we finally came out with a, modern generation PlayStation All-Stars game. Unfortunately, we skipped the PS4 and said you can get it on the PS5. So that kind of sucks. And it would, if anything, it would kill hype. It wouldn't make me hype, which is kind of sad. But I think.
No, don't worry about it.
It's hard.
No, don't worry about it.
You threw a mega wrench.
Yeah, I wanted to see what happened.
Yeah, you threw a mega wrench.
Just throwing an idea out there. That's what I do.
Is it a game that I would be hyped for?
Oh,
yes,
definitely.
Would it be a game that I would hope
Sony
to have?
Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I
Is it a game that I would be hoping for the PS5? Not really. I think an Infamous game would take first hand of that, because I know I'm going to have fighting games on the PS5. So All Stars is kind of just like the cherry on the ice, or the ice cream sundae. It's the cherry on the ice cream sundae. Yeah. The ice cream sundae is everything I already know I'm going to get on the PS5. All Stars is just, we're going to top it. Bam. But Infamous is the banana of that ice cream sundae. It is the base.
What a reference!
Yeah,
I guess I should say.
Because like they already announced like Godfall is a game that's going to be launching with PS5.
Godfall looks great.
Yeah, and it looks well. I mean, the cinematic trailer looks good.
That we have not seen gameplay.
Not that I've seen. Yeah, not that I've seen. And so
cinematic trailers always look good.
Yeah, and the thing for me is like the concept of Godfall though is it's basically Borderlands but with melee, and for me I'm like, that's hype, I like it, but also you're new and I'm scared. Versus
and we got to be open to that.
And I am open to it, but
it's a change that we should.
It's a new IP, which is something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, but when it comes to a new console that a lot of people are right now, I've never seen so many people so hesitant and scared to get a console. Because when the PS4 was, being talked about, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting a PS4." Like, no question about it. Yeah. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. With the PS5, it's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I already beefed all my money into before.
Exactly.
Why do I want to lose all that stuff?
And so for me,
digital.
That's why games-wise, something like Infamous for me, which basically was the majority of my PlayStation 3 life, was playing Infamous.
I remember.
To say that this is a launch title for the PS5, oh man. Yeah, you got me.
So hold on, are you saying a remake for Infamous?
No,
a brand new,
just a whole new game.
Okay.
A whole new. Because here's the thing: is if you remake, or not even a remake, but if they remastered the Infamous, for me the question is, what's the point? I can just play. Yeah. I could just play Infamous on the other, because I think.
Give me a new serial.
I think they have Infamous on PlayStation Now. But I'm not touching PlayStation Now. Yeah. If I've got Infamous on my PS3 still, I'm just gonna play it on my PS3. Sure, it's clunky, but it's how I played it before. I don't have a problem playing Mass Effect 3 on the PS3, so it has to be a new game.
And also, you say Infamous would convince you to get a PS5. I don't think it would even convince me to get a PS5.
Well, but that's me personally.
Yeah, but
and he was only talking about something he would desire to see out of the PS5. That's what that question was covering.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't. It's not.
It's not. No. Yeah, because everyone has their personal preference. Someone's gonna say, "Oh, I want to see." There probably are people out there who they're like, if I don't see PlayStation All Stars as a launch title for the PS5, I'm not getting the PS5.
He wants to talk so much about PlayStation All Stars right now. He's killing him.
I would love to, but there are people out there that's their thing though. That's their personal. I need this or I'm not getting it. For me, it's not even an I need this or I'm not getting it, as it is more just I love it. Yeah, I love it. Because I'm already getting FF7 Remake on PS4, So you can't even use FF7 Remake as like a hype for
Yeah.
the PS5.
And that would have been a great way to introduce the PS5.
It would have.
With the FF7.
But I would be waiting a lot longer than I would like to. So
That's true.
these 60 days need to hurry up and pass so that way I can play this game. Okay, so we talked about the games that we would like to see on the PS5, and that's mostly just because of the fact that all of us, chose the PS5 as the game that the system we would choose over the two. Now, the original question was, what would convince you to switch over to the Xbox Series? What would switch you over to the next console? But I think I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
and it's probably the same thing I'm gonna say.
I think I know exactly what both of you are gonna say.
So we're gonna hold off on that. We're gonna hold off on that. But the question now changes to what would convince us to want to get the Xbox Series X. And I'll start with John and Francis, mostly because I can swear that Santi and I have the same idea. If it's not the same idea, that's gonna be interesting. But we know that you two don't have this. So let's start with Francis.
Okay. So being with PlayStation and knowing the amount of games they have that I like over Xbox, I wouldn't pick a single game, but I would pick a lot of games to make me buy a whole nother console. Because, they're expensive and it would take a lot to make me double down on money and games. And adding the fact I'm not really a YouTuber, I'm not a streamer. Though I'd like to.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Is that what we're doing right now?
Is that not what we're doing right now?
Is this not meta?
wait, hold on.
Photography session.
What year is it?
Horizon Zero Dawn. But anyway, yeah, that's I don't have as much incentive to really get another console.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have quite a bit of games.
So it's kind of like an NA. Like there isn't really that one game that would bring me. That makes sense.
If there are a bunch of good games, then sure, but. It's not happening to me.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Xbox exclusive.
They wouldn't make it an Xbox.
They would not do that. Not to our boy Francis here. No.
It's already a PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
For now. But yeah, I mean that's fair. It makes sense. If there isn't one game that converts you over, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But it is a curiosity.
Yeah.
So John, to switch over to the Xbox Series
Someone's
X.
gonna flirt to convert me over to the Xbox Series X.
What game would take you to the dark side?
Republic Commando.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Republic Commando 2.
That makes sense.
I want a skin decal of the Series X to actually look like an Amazon box.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
you can just do that.
That would be
just
two
slap
things.
some cardboard on that bad boy.
Yeah, if it could look like cardboard just for me, that'd be great. That two things that made it would be Clone Commando and a sticker on it.
And a decal.
And a decal
of an Amazon box.
Of an Amazon box on the Series Xbox, just because. Why not?
That's
the Xbox
funny.
Series box.
The Xbox Series box. You got it. See?
You guys are terrible.
It's a tower in the making, man.
It is.
Literally, Microsoft
and you know
is just
what?
trying to make it more PC for me.
And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that during the closing, because I am 100% with you. But no, and honestly, I can envision that being the case too, because you'll see how PlayStation's handling the old Star Wars games, and you'll look at how Xbox is handling it. The other day, I was trying to find I was trying to find what is it? The Force Unleashed for PS4, and I was looking between PS4 and the Xbox One. Guess who you could just buy it from straight off the bat? Microsoft. Yeah. Guess where you had to get PlayStation? What is it? PlayStation Now? Sony.
Yeah.
You have to go through PlayStation Now just to play these old games, and it's like I'll pass. Thank you, but I'll pass.
I just want to play the individual game.
Exactly.
I don't want to play 80 other games.
I don't want to have to subscribe to your model. So yeah, I can kind of see them bringing back those old Star Wars games, and especially it's like you said when you were talking about the fact that Jedi Fallen Order seemed to be really advertised on the Xbox.
I mean, even on social media, like I would be scrolling through Instagram, and I just noticed that Fallen Order is only being promoted by Xbox.
With Xbox,
and I'll keep looking and notice that it's only Xbox, but they'll change the background to make it look like PlayStation's promoting it. But it's actually an Xbox.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because the fact that I'll play on my PlayStation 4. And I'll see that one person who's playing Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm like, wait, that's right. Yeah. It is on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. It's not an exclusive, although you think it would be.
Yeah. Man, imagine Xbox Series X bringing back even more classic games like Republic Commando.
I would cry. I would actually drop whatever I'm
Knights
doing.
of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Since it's been ported over to the Xbox One,
It's been ported too many times.
Yeah.
It's like Skyrim.
Imagine if they announced a new Knights of the Old
Okay,
Now that's different.
No, that is different.
That's
no,
different.
I would drop all my money for a Knights of the Old Republic game and the Series
But
X.
exclusive to the Series
I
X.
would buy it. Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you
no,
go.
I was
Yeah.
actually. It was a hard debate to figure out which console for me would fit my needs.
Yeah.
I went with PlayStation because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I would have chose Xbox for a diverse kind of gameplay. If I wanted to, play one singular game and just focus on Star Wars, I'd get the Microsoft thing. But because I also have a lot of people in my household who love Sony, I mean, that just seems like a good idea to do.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to it already. So.
Yeah. All right. So Santi,
social norms.
Same time.
Santi, 3, 2, 1. Killer Instinct.
Yeah, I knew
Yes.
I knew it. I almost said KI just to ruin
that.
time.
No. Yeah.
I almost said KI.
Man,
just to ruin
it is the one thing that the Series X it's the button. It's the button they need to press. If Microsoft is
You're
just
gonna drop Arbiter and not drop a new.
Well,
KI.
and it doesn't even need to have it doesn't have to have guest characters.
It just needs to be a new Killer Instinct.
All you need to hear, you just need to see like whatever the Xbox Series, because the Xbox has its iconic sound. I don't know if Series X is gonna carry over that iconic sound when it comes to trailers, where it's the.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if
that's the Microsoft thing. That's
it's
that's not Xbox.
Microsoft's. It's the Xbox orb, though.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you carry that orb over to Series X, or if Series X has some kind of like, really gritty, it's kind of like an action movie type sound.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's the opening for a trailer. It's a teaser of some sort, or they're just talking more about the Series X, and then some point you hear dun, 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 dun. Everyone loses it.
Go ahead, Santi.
I do have a second game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that if they were to do like remake Blue Dragon, oh my god,
exclusively for Xbox.
It's already exclusively on the 360.
It is, yeah.
I own a Blue Dragon on the Xbox 360.
If they were to remake that game for me,
They'd be crazy.
100% get the Xbox Series X over the PlayStation 5
automatically. Yeah, no, for me, because for you, and that makes sense. And for me, when it comes to like KI 2020, KI whatever you call it, they can call it KI
Real Steel.
No, but just Killer Instinct for the Xbox Series X would change everything about this new console generation. Because the thing for me is, like you guys know, I've been PlayStation all the time. What was the one thing that convinced me to get an Xbox for the first time in my life? It was Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Like, he came over to my house, you have Killer Instinct?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we got Killer Instinct.
And the problem was
to the point where he wasn't invited at your house anymore.
It got to the point where I would come home and I would have withdrawals. I would legitimately
like, Santi, I'm coming over to play some KI. I'm like, all right, we're not there, but go for it.
Yeah, I would legitimately go to his house just to turn on the Xbox and play KI. And so the thing for me is, it's like, to be such an influential game that I would go out and spend hundreds of dollars on a console just for this game, dude. You can't tell me that I wouldn't buy a Series X if they told. I would actually not buy. Like, I'm not even saying I'd buy both. I would not buy a PlayStation 5 if I found out that KI was coming out for the Xbox Series X as a launch title. Eventually I'll get the PS5, but no, I'm devoting my time to KI on the Xbox Series X. Because it's such a good game.
It's so much fun.
It's such a... And my personal fighting game of the decade, as we were talking about, of course, was Dissidia Duodecim. But if we're talking about what is, like, the actual game of the decade, Killer Instinct is the game of the decade.
That's not this podcast. That was last week.
I know. But I'm saying the game that would convince you to buy an entire console. The one game would be Killer Instinct.
No, I see it. I definitely see the value in KI.
Just like Arbiter's opening line when you start playing in KI, I have faced the flood and the silenced truth. I will quell your thunder and douse your flames.
Like, they put so much love into these characters. The music.
It's Microsoft's All Stars.
It's not even
and
that.
And it should actually be that.
No, I argue not. No, I argue not. That kills what Killer Instinct is.
I guess. If
Microsoft did a Microsoft All-Stars, it'd be a terrible game. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't play it. I couldn't do it. Because when you're thinking about exclusives, Sony's got way better exclusives.
Oh, definitely.
They have a better library of exclusive characters.
Because most of Sony's story.
But at this point, the thing is, Killer Instinct, along with some other games like Hellblade, for instance, they're no longer becoming those games.
Mhm.
They're becoming Microsoft's Killer Instinct, Microsoft's Hellblade.
That's true.
And for me, it's just like,
hurt.
right? It feels bad a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for me, it's just like, no, I cannot deny what KI did to my heart. So, KI on the Xbox Series X, I'm sorry, Sony, but you don't have KI. So, that's a no for me, dog. But yeah, I mean, speaking of the legacy of games carrying over, the next thing we're talking about is legacy gaming. And it's kind of a hot topic because we're not sure how backwards compatibility is going to work for these consoles.
Or if it is going to at all.
Exactly. And I don't want to start a bloodfest about the debate of if it's going to happen. Right now, but
I mean, well, Xbox has always been backwards compatible.
It has. And I can really see Games Pass kind of carrying over. But for me, it's like if both of them, say they both confirm to have full backwards compatibility from the Xbox to the Series X, from PlayStation 1 to the PS5, would that change which console you would get?
Not really, because since me growing up with the Xbox, I have more nostalgia for Xbox games.
Yeah, on the other side of that coin. I have more nostalgia for PlayStation games. Only because I have more PlayStation games.
Mm-hmm.
I have more original Xbox and 360 games.
Yeah. See, but the thing is, at first, because your dad would most likely get the Series X, and you were saying you get the PS5, would it stop you from getting the PS5 if you found out that all of those Xbox to Series X were on the Xbox Series X?
No.
Okay. You'd still get the PS5?
I still get the PS5.
Okay.
What would stop me from getting the PS5 would be a Killer Instinct or Blue Dragon remake announcement.
Which makes sense, yeah. And then you said that you grew up
with
PlayStation.
I grew up with PlayStation. I own way more PlayStation games than I do Xbox. I have 7 Xbox games in my house, and they're probably picking up dust right now.
Yeah.
And I just see myself getting more out of a PlayStation backwards compatibility. Although I found myself never actually using it to its full potential. Like I know PS4 did it later on, right?
With PlayStation Now.
With PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
And I was kind of frustrated at that, so I never even tried it, only because I never gave it a chance. But yeah, I've always ended up playing the newer game compared to the older game.
Gotcha.
So, new Battlefront.
Yes.
Old Battlefront. Old Battlefront's great.
Yes.
But I'm playing the new one because it's the new one. More people are playing it.
Yeah.
I'm getting more out of the newer stuff just because it's new.
But I mean, if they even just remastered old Battlefront 2 and released it.
No, I'm not even saying that.
No,
when I say backwards compatibility, I mean like disc or digital.
Yeah.
Like you can play the discs or the digital of your past games on the modern. No remakes, no remasters, just how it was. Bad graphics and all. Yeah.
Yep. No, I would find myself. I always found myself playing new stuff. So go ahead.
I have to side with John. I would still probably be with the PlayStation because I never had the old original Xbox. Xbox 360, we only had one, and then the second one we actually got as like a bundler, I think. I forgot. Like it came with the thing we were buying.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were actually aiming for another Xbox 360 anyway. So yeah, it would still probably be PlayStation.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Yes. To play the old Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi games on the PS5.
Oh.
Yes. And that also
You would see me on that?
Dude, and that's the thing for me. I would also say that PS5, like again, KI is probably the only game that would make me drop everything to go for Xbox Series X. Because if I can get backwards compatibility for my PlayStation 5, I have games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose on the PS2.
That was a good game.
I have SSX Tricky.
Oh my
I
god, that
have
game was fun.
Tricky.
That was fun.
I have Tricky on my GameCube still.
And then I just got Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Like, there are these games that I played from the PS2 era. And the thing for me is it's like, yeah, I get it with Battlefront. You know, there are the newer versions that come out and it kind of stops you from playing the older ones. But there are some games, they don't get newer versions. There is no new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose. SSX, they came out with newer ones.
That was the game that got me into Yu-Gi-Oh, dude.
And the thing is, because I showed it to Santi, and it felt so good talking about it and playing. how I think we
The
went like a
music
half
is
hour.
also pretty good. In
Right?
That. Oh
He's
my
like a half
gosh.
hour just explaining it. To
I
me.
spent a half hour just talking
Probably
about
wasn't
the game.
even playing it.
We weren't.
Yeah.
No.
No.
it was
amazing.
the main menu, and Blue's like,
chess.
okay, I'm gonna explain this to you. Here we
Yeah.
go.
It was like
It was chess.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh chess.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
the
how I explained
best.
it.
Yeah.
Not
That's
explain it
exactly
to
how
you.
he explained it.
It's
And
amazing,
I
man.
kid you not, when I was at his house, I left it on the music and just walked away.
He did.
I just left the music. I was mid-duel and I left the music there. And I'm like, you know what? Because here's the thing. With a new console, that music would probably still sound just as good. So to be able to sit in my room and just hear versus Lancastrian play... Man, don't get me
He
started.
pulled up the game just to hear the music and start doing other stuff.
Exactly.
No, that's what he does
That's what
with
I
video
do.
games.
That's exactly what I do with video games. I have YouTube.
That's a
I
lot
don't
of power
use it.
being used, let's be honest.
But no, I feel that because I did the same thing with 15, where I
Yeah.
would boot up 15 just to listen to the music while I did homework.
Exactly. So that's, you know, and then not to mention there's PlayStation 3 games that I have. Like, I have all of my save data from the entire Ezio, collection.
Yeah, I remember you
of
going
Assassin's
back
Creed.
to those, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing for me is it's like, I wouldn't want to leave
were
that
good.
behind. I want to bring that forward with me, and I need an excuse to play the new Assassin's Creed games. So to have a console that all of my previous, 1 through...
It's all tracked.
I want to say 3. Yeah, because I didn't play anything after 3. So to have all of those
You didn't play
carry
Black
over...
Flag.
I
Yeah.
played Black Flags.
Wasn't that before
I didn't
3?
own it. No, it was after 3.
I still haven't finished Black Flag.
It's people consider it to be one of the better ones. I didn't like it.
I haven't
But you
played
know
it.
what?
I heard it was good.
You know what? I'd be willing to buy and own it if I had all of my Assassin's Creeds on the PlayStation 5. And everyone does the whole well, you can have all the old games on the. That's not the same. I'm saying bring my stuff forward.
Yeah,
I wanna have
all
my
my
saves
achievements there. I want.
Speaking of, so backwards compatibility, PS2 games included. Would that include cheat codes?
It'd have to.
Yeah, part
it
of
would
the
have
game.
to.
It's
Yeah.
part of the-
Do
it's part
Do
of
Because
not.
it's part of the mechanic.
Do not.
They
say
better not take that out.
You're gonna say
It's
San
an
Andreas,
iconic.
aren't
It's an iconic
Yeah.
experience. Well, I mean, in things, games like Grand Theft Auto, or even
Yeah.
like with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose, using that text cheat codes. The cheat codes for Episode 3, because the way they ported it, it's a 1-for-1 port from the PS2 game.
Dude.
It still does the whole memory card loading
That's
thing.
so cool.
So for me, it being a 1-for-1 port, the cheat codes carrying over,
I miss
putting
that
it in,
stuff.
dude, playing Force Unleashed on the Xbox One,
Yeah,
you can still use the text cheat codes.
That's amazing.
And it's like,
I
this
got
is
2
my
for PC.
childhood.
I'm excited to play that.
And it's funny because I get that little prompt that shows up that says like, oh, you won't be able to save or get achievements. And it's like, well, when I was a kid, that was important.
Yep.
As an adult, I don't care.
Yep.
I want to have fun.
Nope.
I still
I
remember
agree.
going into Psychonauts and just putting in them codes and saying, "You cheated!"
Yeah. And so, yeah, no, I'm for sure cheat codes would have to
Yeah.
stay. Yeah,
And it would have to be the same input method.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
button,
Put button,
up,
yeah.
down,
Yeah,
Tap, tap,
yeah.
tap,
left, down,
tap.
right, up.
Yeah.
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 No,
I
mean,
100%
the-
agree.
It has to be.
That's all programming of the game is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
So if they're porting the game over, they're porting everything that belongs to the game over as well. So they,
Yeah.
of course, would have to bring in
They would
cheat codes
have
on a
to.
phone that you have to press.
Yeah.
You never know. They might change anything with technology these days.
I mean, they could hold back on some cheat codes because they could take
But
stuff
they
out,
should.
but they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because that's
part of it.
It's part of the game, and it's what made the game the game.
Exactly.
It was part of the whole
I want my
experience.
rocket
Exactly.
launchers.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
You beat
speaking
the game
of
without it, and then you played it.
Speaking of change, one thing that always changes with consoles, though, that I think doesn't get as much attention from a lot of people as it should, is the user interface.
Oh, don't get me started.
The user interface of consoles. For me,
PlayStation 2.
I don't even think the PS2 interface is good. I think
I think it's
the
trash, but
the
the noise.
XMB bar
Ah.
from PlayStation 3
Ah.
needs to come back. It
I
has
agree.
to. Because the fact that I have to make folders on the PlayStation 4
Mhm.
that says games, videos, miscellaneous, the fact that I have to do that is just terrible.
It's more organization, but
But it's organization that makes things awkward for me.
Yeah.
Versus I scroll over to the tab that says games. I go up and down where I can. And the thing is, you could easily organize by alphabetical. You could do the biggest size. You can change how you can organize these games. Manually organize if you want to. But I want to have a games tab. I want to have a video tab. I want to have a settings tab. I want to have.
You want
all
the
these-
system to recognize that that is a video and not a game.
I want it to recognize that there's more to what I'm doing with my system than just this thing on the main menu.
Okay.
That, but also the fact that the PS4, you have to go up above your bar menu to even access party, friends, settings, power,
That's
and all
the
that.
part that I don't like about the 4.
Yeah.
Is the upper access toolbar. I don't
Exactly.
like that.
I don't
the
either.
Folders, on the other hand,
Folders are cool.
to sort of come back at you.
Yeah.
Those were brought in to bring in PC gamers.
I don't care because it was in 3.
Yeah, it wasn't 3.
So that's not my problem.
Yeah.
But my problem is how they utilize it. That's what I care about.
Okay.
Because my thing is, it's like, you go back to, so switching users on the PS4 is the most complicated thing ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Because you have to go to power, and then you have to go to change user, and then you have to switch out.
That's if you're using it the hard way. You could just do it from the controller, right?
But you still have to go to the power
That's
setting
true.
to switch
Yeah,
users.
yeah.
Versus you go all the way to the far left, and granted it's still that power section, but you go to the far left of the PS3, oh, what's this? User 1, user 2, user 3. You just click.
Yeah.
Would you like to switch?
I missed
Yes.
that too. Yeah, I missed that.
Even with
Easy.
the Xbox, you just hit the home button and scroll over, and they're all right there.
And they're all right there.
It's so easy that I've even actually signed in the Link's profile multiple times before.
Oh, good lord. So, for
I
PlayStation
didn't
5,
play this game.
that's what I need it to be. I need them to just step back.
Yeah.
I get that they're trying to be sleek and futuristic and all that, but the thing is, you shouldn't have to sacrifice utility to make it look clean. I don't care if it looks clean, so long as I can access my things easily.
Mhm.
Now, in opposition to that, Xbox needs to clean up their act.
Okay. Here we go. When my dad got the Xbox One and booted up, the first thing I noticed was the user interface, and I immediately hated it.
Yeah.
You're like, this looks
it's
disgusting.
so cluttered, and like they make it so difficult to really like find anything.
Mhm.
Using the store is like I prefer the 360 store.
Yeah.
And that had its issues.
Mhm.
Like trying to use the store on the Xbox One, I hate it.
Yeah.
The one thing I do give it credit for is how easy it is to transition between games or apps.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I do like when you pop up, you hit the home menu, and instead of taking you to the home screen, it pops up a little menu where it has everything easily accessible.
Hmm.
And it has like a list of your most, like what you used last.
Mm-hmm.
How quick is it on loading up though?
Yeah, it's very quick.
Oh, nice.
Because
Yeah.
PlayStation sort of does similar
'Cause, like,
things,
with
but it
PlayStation-
takes forever
With
to
PlayStation,
do
it takes you back to the menu, and you have to like pick. Oh, you want to close it out? You have to hit
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it boots it
yeah.
up. With Xbox, it just
It
goes
just
into
it kills it and goes to the next one, which I like a lot.
You guys don't know about the toolbar that if you hold down the button on the PlayStation controller, it goes to a small thing like that, and you can close out the application as
No,
you're
here's the
in
thing. You have to close your application or select the game you want to go to close application. With Xbox, you go to the game you want while playing the other game. You're like, hey, I'm playing tabs. I just want to leave tabs and go play Jedi Fallen Order. Closes tabs automatically, opens up Jedi Fallen Order. Like that.
You don't have to go out of your way to say I want to
I need
close
to
this
look
game.
at an
Yeah.
Xbox.
I'll have to show you. Because the thing is also, and it's a gripe I have, but it's a love I have as well, is unlike PlayStation, if I press and hold the home button, then what I can do is I even have groups. So
Yeah.
you can go to a groups tab and just be like, in the middle of me, like I could be playing Killer Instinct and just be paused and be like, you know what, I'm going to play Hitman 2. Press and hold home, Hitman 2. Boom, Hitman 2 is ready to go.
Yeah.
You can't really do that with PlayStation. Now, we could be here talking about user interfaces the entire time, though. But that's just one thing
Yeah,
I wanted to bring up.
we
Is
could
just
keep going.
user interfaces.
I could bring in PC stuff, but we won't do
yeah,
that.
we're not even. Yeah. But the
holding
thing,
back my Nintendo too.
the thing that I wanted to really close out on is kind of just the deal breakers of the next generation. And it looks like Santi really wants to go. So Santi,
Oh, he's one of-
Okay, so one thing that I actually found out from my dad before coming here is that they're thinking of making the base Xbox Series X only have a 250 gig hard drive.
what?
What?